Communication is the lifeline of every successful relationship. It is the thread that connects two people emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. Without communication, even the most passionate relationships can wither away due to misunderstanding, frustration, or emotional distance. When we communicate, we are not just exchanging words. We are sharing thoughts, feelings, needs, and vulnerabilities. It's through communication that we come to truly understand and be understood by someone else. At the heart of good communication lies the ability to listen. Listening is not simply waiting for your turn to speak. It is the active and intentional act of being present with the other person's words, tone, and body language. It involves putting aside your own assumptions and focusing on what the other person is really trying to say. Most communication problems don't come from irritation. How we communicate reflects how we respect and value the other person. When our words are chosen with care and love, we communicate not just our message, but our intentions as well. Emotional honesty is another essential part of communication. Many people avoid expressing their true feelings out of fear of judgment, rejection, or conflict. But bottling up emotions eventually leads to resentment and disconnection. Sharing how you truly feel, in a constructive and respectful way, fosters deeper intimacy. It shows vulnerability, and with vulnerability comes trust. The more open we are with our inner world, the more we invite others to connect with us authentically. Moreover, effective communication also includes the ability to ask for what you need without guilt or blame. People are not mind readers, and unmet expectations often stem from things left unsaid. Expressing needs and setting boundaries clearly and respectfully is not selfish. It's healthy. It prevents misunderstandings and builds a mutual understanding of each other's limits and desires. In every relationship, disagreements are inevitable, but how we communicate during conflict makes all the difference. Instead of trying to win an argument, the goal should be to understand and resolve. Using I statements rather than you accusations, staying calm, and avoiding hurtful language can turn a potential fight into a productive conversation. Conflict can actually strengthen a relationship if both people feel heard and respected during the process. Ultimately, communication is not a one-time effort, but a continuous practice. It evolves as people grow and circumstances change. It requires patience, presence, and emotional awareness. In the end, it is not grand gestures, but the daily act of truly communicating, with honesty, kindness, and intention, that keeps a relationship alive and strong. You said, "Trust must be earned and maintained," expended this keynote of 500 words without any subheading and conclusion. ChatGPT said, "Trust must be earned and maintained, not demanded or assumed." It is one of the most valuable elements in any relationship, and once broken, it can take a long time to rebuild, if it ever does. Trust is not given freely. It develops slowly, shaped by consistent behavior, honesty, and emotional safety over time. In a successful relationship, trust serves as the invisible foundation that allows two people to feel secure with one another. It creates a space where vulnerability is safe, promises are meaningful, and intentions are believed without suspicion. The process of earning trust begins with reliability. When someone consistently shows up, keeps their word, and acts in alignment with what they say, a sense of dependability grows. It's not about grand gestures, but about the small, everyday moments where a person proves they can be counted on. Whether it's being on time, keeping a secret, or simply doing what they said they would, these actions accumulate over time and shape the belief that I can rely on this person. Honesty plays a crucial role in this process. Telling the truth, even when it's difficult or uncomfortable, builds a deeper kind of respect and transparency. People don't expect perfection, but they do expect truthfulness. When there is openness about feelings, mistakes, and intentions, it becomes easier for others to feel secure. On the other hand, lies, even small ones, chip away at trust. Once deceit enters a relationship, It plants seeds of doubt that can quickly grow into suspicion and insecurity. Trust is also built through emotional safety. When someone feels that they can express themselves without being judged, mocked, or dismissed, they begin to open up more deeply. This emotional freedom is essential for building intimacy. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to share fears, past wounds, and insecurities. When that vulnerability is met with compassion and understanding instead of criticism or betrayal, trust deepens. But earning trust is only half the story. Maintaining it is just as important. Trust must be protected through ongoing actions and consistent behavior. It is not something that, once established, can be taken for granted. The quickest way to erode trust is through neglect. Neglecting emotional needs, breaking promises, hiding the truth, or becoming careless with one's actions. Every relationship will face challenges, but it's during these moments that the strength of trust is truly tested. Apologies, when genuine, can help in the healing of broken trust, but they must be paired with changed behavior. Saying "I'm sorry" means little without evidence of growth and accountability. Rebuilding trust is a slow and delicate process, often requiring patience, transparency, and the willingness to feel uncomfortable. The person who was hurt needs to see real effort, while the one who caused the hurt must be willing to take responsibility without defensiveness. In the end, trust is not something that happens once and lasts forever. It's a living element of a relationship that requires attention, effort, and respect. It must be protected from complacency and nurtured with ongoing care. When trust is present, it becomes the safe ground upon which love, connection, and growth can thrive. You said respect is non-negotiable. Expended this keynote of 500 words without any subheading and conclusion. ChatGPT said, respect is non-negotiable in any successful relationship. It is the fundamental acknowledgement of another person's worth, feelings, boundaries, and individuality. Without respect, even love cannot flourish. You can care deeply for someone, but if there is no respect, that relationship will eventually collapse under the weight of misunderstanding, resentment, and emotional harm. Respect is not only about being polite or using kind words. It is about valuing the other person's perspective, even when it differs from your own, and treating them with dignity regardless of circumstances. Respect shows up in everyday interactions, in the way people speak to each other, listen to each other, and regard each other's needs. It means recognizing that the person in front of you is not an extension of yourself, but an individual with their own history, values, fears, and dreams. It means resisting the urge to control or belittle, even during conflict. Disagreements will happen, but when they are handled with respect, they do not destroy the relationship, they strengthen it. Disrespect, on the other hand, shows itself in dismissive comments, raised voices, rolling, mocking, or ignoring someone's feelings. These behaviors slowly chip away at connection and create emotional distance that is difficult to bridge. One of the clearest signs of respect is listening, genuinely and without interruption. When we take the time to understand where someone is coming from, even if we don't agree, we show that their thoughts matter. Interrupting, invalidating, or dominating a conversation sends the message that one person's voice is more important than the others. In a respectful relationship, each person has an equal seat at the table. Decisions are made together, not forced or dictated. Power is shared, and differences are not just tolerated but appreciated. Respect also means honoring each other's boundaries. Everyone has emotional, physical, and psychological limits, and these should never be pushed or ignored. When someone expresses a need for space, time, or clarity, it's not a rejection. It's a request for safety. Ignoring those boundaries communicates that their needs are less important than your own. In contrast, when boundaries are respected, trust deepens and mutual understanding grows. People feel safe to be themselves, which creates the freedom for deeper emotional connection. In intimate relationships, Respect means not using love as a weapon or a bargaining chip. It means refraining from name, calling, sarcasm, and passive-aggressive behavior. It means showing up in moments of stress or disagreement without tearing the other person down. Respect in these moments often looks like patience, empathy, and self-control. Furthermore, respect must be mutual. If only one person is constantly being thoughtful, considerate, and mindful of the other's needs, the imbalance will eventually lead to exhaustion or resentment. Mutual respect creates a dynamic where both individuals feel valued and seen. It nurtures a healthy sense of self and encourages both partners to grow, knowing they are supported rather than diminished. Respect is not something you earn once and forget. It must be shown every day in every interaction. When respect is non-negotiable, it creates a relationship where both people can thrive. You said, embrace growth together, expended this keynote of 500 words without any subheading and conclusion. ChatGPT said, embracing growth together is one of the most powerful ways to ensure a relationship not only survives but thrives. In any meaningful connection between two people, growth is inevitable. As individuals, we are constantly evolving, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even professionally. The key to a successful relationship lies in not just allowing each other to grow, but in actively supporting and participating in that growth as a team. It means choosing to walk side by side, even when the road leads to unfamiliar places or challenges previously unimagined. When two people enter a relationship, they come with their own sets of values, experiences, dreams, and insecurities. Over time, life presents new situations that challenge those elements. Career changes, personal goals, family dynamics, health issues, or even shifts in identity. A relationship that embraces growth acknowledges that change is natural and necessary, rather than resisting it out of fear or clinging to the past version of each other. Both individuals commit to learning and adapting as life unfolds. Supporting each other's personal development means cheering for one another's ambitions and encouraging exploration, even when it introduces temporary discomfort. It might mean being patient while one partner returns to school, starts a business, or confronts past trauma. It could involve adapting to new interests, accepting emotional changes, or exploring new philosophies and beliefs. What matters is the willingness to see your partner as a dynamic being who is continuously becoming, not someone who must remain the same in order to be loved. Embracing growth together also requires open communication and emotional maturity. It demands conversations that go deeper than surface-level topics, talking about dreams, fears, shifting values, and long-term goals ensures both people remain connected as they evolve. These conversations build bridges of understanding and help prevent the emotional drift that can occur when people grow in silence or isolation. At times, growth will feel unbalanced. One partner may experience a season of transformation while the other feels stagnant. During these times, it's important to practice patience, encouragement, and humility. Growth is not a race or a competition. It's about moving in the same direction with compassion and curiosity. The more both individuals invest in each other's growth, the more the relationship becomes a place of safety and empowerment. Even challenges and conflicts offer opportunities for growth. Disagreements can teach better communication. Setbacks can reveal resilience. Emotional struggles can strengthen empathy. When both people view obstacles as stepping stones instead of roadblocks, they become more deeply bonded by shared experience and mutual perseverance. In growing together, the relationship itself grows stronger. New layers of understanding, trust, and admiration develop. The connection deepens because it is based not only on who each person was at the beginning, but on who they are becoming together. It's this mutual evolution that turns an ordinary relationship into an extraordinary one, built not just on love, but on shared growth, shared dreams, and a shared journey. You said, Quality time over quantity time expended this keynote of 500 words without any subheading and conclusion, ChatGPT said. Quality time over quantity time is a principle that often distinguishes fulfilling relationships from those that merely exist. In a world that constantly demands our attention, it's easy to mistake being physically present with being emotionally connected. Two people can spend hours in the same room, yet feel completely disconnected. What truly strengthens a relationship is not the number of hours spent together, but the depth, intention, and emotional presence during those moments. Quality time is about fully engaging with one another, creating shared experiences, and nurturing emotional closeness. When we talk about quality time, we refer to the intentional effort to be truly present with someone. This means putting aside distractions, phones, television, work obligations, and focusing on the person in front of you. Even if it's just for a short while, the impact of undivided attention can be deeply affirming. It communicates, "You matter. I am here with you, not just beside you." This type of connection fosters intimacy and makes each person feel valued and seen. It's easy to fall into the habit of spending time together without actually connecting. Daily routines, chores, or shared responsibilities might involve both partners, but they don't necessarily count as quality time. In fact, if these moments are not paired with emotional engagement, they may even contribute to a sense of distance. True quality time might come in the form of a heartfelt conversation, a quiet walk, a shared hobby, or simply sitting in silence while being emotionally available to each other. It is defined more by the emotional connection it creates than the activity itself. The power of quality time also lies in its ability to build and sustain emotional intimacy. During these moments, people often feel safe enough to open up about their thoughts, feelings, and dreams. They laugh together, comfort each other, and experience life in a way that feels meaningful. These shared experiences become the glue that holds a relationship together through the ups and downs of life. They create memories, build understanding, and reinforce the emotional bond. Making time for quality moments often requires intention and effort, especially when life gets busy. Work schedules, family obligations, and personal stress can easily push relationships into the background. But those who prioritize quality time understand that relationships don't thrive by accident. They grow through conscious investment. Even 10 or 15 minutes of genuine connection each day can make a lasting difference. It's not about doing something extravagant. It's about being present, curious, and caring in the time you do have. Ultimately, prioritizing quality over quantity helps keep relationships alive with meaning. It reminds us that love isn't measured by how long we're together, but by how well we understand, support, and enjoy each other. In giving someone our full attention, even briefly, we say more than words ever could. We create space for love to grow, deepen, and endure through all seasons of life. You said, "Forgiveness and letting go" expended this keynote of 500 words without any subheading and conclusion. ChatGPT said, "Forgiveness and letting go are essential elements of a successful and lasting relationship." No matter how deeply two people love each other, misunderstandings, mistakes, and emotional wounds are inevitable. When hurt is not addressed with forgiveness, it builds into resentment, distance, and emotional walls that can slowly erode the foundation of the relationship. Forgiveness is not about forgetting or pretending that the pain didn't happen. It's about choosing to release the grip that pain has on the relationship so that healing can begin. Letting go is the act of freeing both yourself and your partner from the burden of past wrongs, making space for growth and renewed connection. Forgiveness is a decision, not an emotion. It doesn't always come easily or quickly, especially when the hurt runs deep. But in choosing to forgive, you reclaim your own peace and give the relationship a chance to heal. It requires the willingness to see the other person's humanity, to understand that everyone is flawed, and to believe that people can learn and change. Holding on to anger or bitterness may feel like a form of self-protection, but in reality, it only keeps you trapped in the cycle of pain. Forgiveness is a form of release. It allows both people to move forward instead of staying stuck in the past. Letting go is closely tied to forgiveness, yet it requires its own intentional process. It means choosing not to bring up past mistakes as weapons in future disagreements. It means not allowing a previous betrayal, argument, or disappointment to define the present moment. Letting go doesn't mean you forget the lessons learned. It means you don't let the past continue to poison the future. Carrying emotional baggage weighs heavily on both partners and prevents the relationship from fully blossoming. When you truly let go, you are choosing peace over pride, love over ego, and connection over control. Forgiveness and letting go also create an environment of emotional safety, where both people feel they can be imperfect without the fear of being endlessly punished for their mistakes. This doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior or staying silent in the face of repeated hurt. It means addressing the issue, setting healthy boundaries, and then releasing the emotional weight once steps toward healing have been taken. Real forgiveness also involves accountability. The person who caused the hurt must take responsibility, express genuine remorse, and work to change their behavior. It is not about excusing wrongdoing, but about creating a path forward that is rooted in understanding and mutual respect. In every relationship, moments will arise that test patience and compassion. Choosing forgiveness and letting go does not make you weak. It takes immense strength and emotional maturity. It is one of the most generous acts you can offer, not just to the other person, but to yourself. It allows the heart to remain open and the relationship to remain alive. In this way, forgiveness becomes a powerful tool of love, transforming pain into growth and conflict into deeper understanding.